Good Wednesday, everyone. Thanks for stopping by Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, your source for weather information for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours a day. I'm forecaster Robert Smith with the video forecast discussion for Wednesday, the 19th of February, 2014. And we're waking up to a hazy sunshine across many areas here in northwestern New Jersey. The haze is very light. There's air particles that are stuck into the atmosphere. The mid and upper levels of the atmosphere also beginning to moisten up as a cold front nears the region this afternoon and passes through. Right now, winds are light and variable. They're mostly from either a southeast or a westerly direction, and they're at speeds at less than 5 to 10 miles per hour. Temperatures this morning with the snowpack still in the low teens across northwestern New Jersey. They're rising precipitably now across the Poconos region with temperatures at 25 at Mount Pocono and 32 freezing at Avoca Scranton. Temperatures in the New Jersey, New York City metro area generally running at or above freezing. You go further inland across portions of Essex and Passaic counties, temperatures there starting off on the chillier side this morning into the upper teens and lower 20s. They're in the lower 20s and some single digits and teens across the southern flanks of Connecticut, interior Connecticut, and interior southeastern New York State's Hudson Valley region. And they're generally running in the upper 20s to around freezing or so in southeastern Pennsylvania, right around the Delaware River water gap there, all the way down into the Delmarva this morning as well. Morning surface chart from weatherroanoke.com shows the warm front making its way through central and southern Pennsylvania into the Delmarva region this morning. Cold front now draped across the Great Lakes into the Ohio River Valley. This cold front will be sweeping through the region during this afternoon. Ahead of the warm front, a few rain showers cannot be ruled out. Some of these are heavier downpours across the region, and therefore with temperatures this morning at or above freezing ahead of the warm front, at or below freezing rather ahead of the warm front, there is a freezing rain advisory for a large chunk of northeastern Pennsylvania and northwestern New Jersey, and that will all depend on how fast the atmosphere warms up before the rain gets in here. And there are still questions about that may expire, but it's in effect until 12 noon this afternoon. And then the cold front comes through tonight. Not much change in the air mass behind it, with clearing skies on the way. Watches, warnings, and advisories are freeze rain advisories in effect for northwestern New Jersey down through central New Jersey and all of eastern Pennsylvania. As we see on the radar this morning, some snow and sleet beginning to work its way in through central Pennsylvania. It's going to be a timing issue here as this precipitation makes its way through the northeastern portions of the region, clipping northwestern New Jersey and the city area just to west of the city late this morning into early afternoon. Now, the advisory was in effect from 7 this morning until 12 noon this afternoon. It's just going to all depend on how much warming occurs above the surface here before the rain gets in here during this afternoon. And we also have small craft advisories on the ocean front here from the coastal waters of Long Island Sound to the New York area down through New Jersey and the Delmarva region until 12 midnight tonight. These are for southerly winds at 10 to 20 knots, gust up to 30 knots, seas 4 to 7 feet. A little choppy there. Wind shifting around to the west with the cold frontal passage late this evening. This is indeed nice to see. No snowfall expected within the next 36 hours. Don't know if that came through or not. No snowfall expected during the next 36 hours, and about 1/10 of an inch or less of liquid precipitation. This would be in the form of some freezing rain across the region later this morning into early afternoon. For the aviational weather deck this morning, generally VFR conditions. A few clouds at around 25,000 feet this morning. Temperature in Newark 34, dew point 28. Wind is southeast at 3, visibility 9 miles. Going to have some broken ceilings this morning, a little light rain showers late this morning into early afternoon, overcast conditions there. Temperatures rising through the 30s into the low and mid 40s. That's good news. Snow melt on the way there. Light rain late this afternoon, and then the wind shift around to the west, and it will become a little gusty late this afternoon, 10 gusts to 16 knots with the visibilities improving, some scattered clouds at around 25,000. Also scattered clouds at 15,000 with clearing skies overnight tonight. A light northwest wind dying down to less than 10 miles an hour with generally fair weather late tonight and early tomorrow morning. Just a few scattered high clouds at around 25,000 feet tomorrow morning. And for Philadelphia, same thing, 29 degrees, broken ceilings at 25,000. There'll be some light rain showers around the region late this morning into early afternoon. Some of that could be freezing rain, but probably less than that across the. There's no advisories for Philadelphia, even at the terminals. Wind shift around with clearing to the west at 10 knots late this afternoon at broken ceilings at 1500, and then just some scattered clouds of VFR conditions 25,000 feet with west winds under 10 knots tomorrow morning. Here comes our clouds across the region this morning ahead of the warm front. Cold front still back through the Great Lakes. On the water vapor imagery, plenty of lifting here, so some of this is moderate rain coming down through central Pennsylvania. Some of that is in the form of snow across central and Pennsylvania this morning as the air is being lifted rapidly over snowpack and a colder atmosphere in place this morning. On the radar, it's pretty active. We find one stem of moisture here over the southern Delmarva region, actually the southern mid-Atlantic region. Here comes the rain ahead of the cold front and along the warm front here. Some of this is moderate precipitation. Not all of this is in the form of rain. Some of this is very heavy wet snow and freezing rain across the region as it makes its way through the region late this morning into early afternoon. Warming patterns on the way for the next couple of days, and that's going to mean snow melt across the region as well, and also wet pattern too. Not increasingly so, but we could have a more powerful rain event around here on Friday as a series of warm fronts move through and cold fronts move through the area during the next 48 to 72 hours. Starting out this morning with increasing high clouds rapidly across the region. Here is our rain and snow moving in with the warm front across the region, mainly for Pennsylvania, northwestern New Jersey. Some of this rain getting in, a few rain showers getting into the New York City metro and slicing through Philadelphia off the New Jersey coast this afternoon, and broken ceilings, scattered clouds, clearing skies overnight as weak high pressure moves in. High doesn't really build in too far to across the region. The air mass is one from the west. It's a polar air mass rather than an Arctic one at this point. And we're going to be fighting with high pressure off the southeast coast and another warm front moving towards the area late Thursday afternoon and Thursday night, increasing the isentropic lift, the warm air advection in place, and temperatures rising with snow melt continuing. And rain showers break out across the region during the day on Friday morning. And then the cold front moves through the storm system across the upper Great Lakes and into southeastern Canada begins to occlude and drags a strong cold front through the region on a Friday afternoon and Friday evening. Now, some of these could be linear lines of showers. There could be a little low-top convection. Some strong gusty southerly winds cause the air mass to be a little bit more mixed with temperatures rising through the 40s, 50s, and even lower 60s in the Delmarva region as the cold front makes its way through and rain showers increase to about 3/4 to an inch around the region, causing some flooding of urban and street locations along with the continual snow melt that's already ongoing. GFS maps into motion right now. The forecast models shows the warm front, cold front moving through the region with some isolated pockets of freezing precipitation late this morning into early afternoon, maybe for the Hudson Valley, northeastern Pennsylvania, spotty areas in northwestern New Jersey, a milder south to southwest flow, southerly flow across the region. As the low occludes across south of Hudson's Bay, Canada, drags the cold front through the region during this evening with clearing skies. High pressure builds in across the region for late tonight into early tomorrow morning. Here's our next weather maker, another storm system heading up towards the Great Lakes and the eventually southeastern Canada, the St. Lawrence River Valley area during the day on Friday. Drags the warm front through the region with rain breaking out, rain showers in the morning, and then a more segmented line, a more organized line of showers and perhaps even some low top thunder across the region on Friday afternoon and Friday evening as that storm occludes and the cold front moves off the east coast. It's generally a milder flow into the weekend with high pressure building across the mid-Atlantic and southeastern United States coast. That storm system over Hudson's Bay, Canada continues to occlude, and we're generally in a zonal flow across the region through the weekend. Here comes our disturbance now. Colder heights begin to build in the means with the trough access here from central Canada all the way down through the central and southern plains. We're on the eastern side of that, so we remain on the warm side with the nose of high pressure across the eastern United States coast. But as things get more interesting early next week, as the trough axis begins to move further to the east, warm air advection, snow breaks out during the region on Wednesday morning, and low pressure develops off the southeastern coast, and that moves off the mid-Atlantic coast away from the region. We could have a period of some snow around here on Monday night or early Tuesday before that storm system, week one at that, moves off the mid-Atlantic coast states. And things get very interesting as the colder Arctic air mass begins to invade the trough axis now. A portion of the polar vortex begins to dip down slowly towards the Great Lakes and the New England states, making for much colder atmosphere as we head into the later part of next week with high pressure and dry conditions generally in control at this time. And that will bring us right through March 1st. With the stratospheric warming event that's ongoing, even the mean model 500 millibar height anomalies for the European, also here the GFS and the Canadian model guidance pretty much intact, and this would take us through the 1st of March, Saturday the 1st of March, showing a portion of the polar vortex here across Hudson's Bay on all three models. Basically a little bit deeper on the GFS and European into the eastern United States. It's more of a broader trough than we saw earlier in January. So temperatures are going to go below normal again, but that doesn't always mean that we're going to see organized precipitation here. We could find clippers undercutting this flow from the upper Midwest. Large pinching PNA ridge here, strong indicator here that more clipper type systems and much colder air is going to get involved here for the latter part of next week and the first beginning portions of March. And how stormy this becomes will depend largely on the interaction between subtropical jet energy and polar Arctic energy from the northern stream. But this is definitely a cold air mass in place across the region. Not as cold as we saw it naturally during the month of January, but we could be dealing with more troublesome winter-like precipitation events around here late next week and early part of March as well. So we have to be mindful for the flooding of all the snowpack. We have a couple of inches of snow, up to about 2 to 4 inches of liquid still in the snowpack across many areas, especially northwestern New Jersey, the lower Hudson Valley, northeastern Pennsylvania, interior southeastern New York, and Connecticut. We're going to have to watch for the snow melt and how rapidly the snow does melt. Could cause some flooding issues, especially with precipitation events and warm and cold fronts with rain showers along them. Most of this is going to be for street at this point, but later in the month of February and March, we're going to have to watch out for how rapidly this process begins, because we could find some rivers begin to approach that as well, as we still have quite a bit of ice jams across the region too. So it's going to be a very interesting and volatile pattern going forward. We're going to have to monitor this very closely. We'll be back bright and early with you again on Thursday morning.